The Amazon Halo View, it is the newest health tracker from Amazon. But how does something like this stack up to a crowd favorite like the Charge 5 from FitBit? And which one is actually right for you? In this video, we're gonna compare these two devices, but how we're gonna compare it is we're gonna compare it from the point of view of the end user. This way we can determine which device is best for who and why. With that said, let's take a look at the two devices from the point of view of, you could say, a common user. What do I mean by a common user? I'm talking about someone who just want to be able to track their workouts, whether it's at the gym or going for a walk or going for a run or a ride, along with tracking their heart rate, their calories burned, maybe their steps, or how many times they've worked out during the week, along with something like sleep. If you're that type of user where you just want some general information about your life in those areas, then either devices actually work really well. Next, let's take a look at these two devices from the point of view of someone who is a runner or a biker. Now, biker, I don't mean the vroom vroom kind, I mean the pedaling kind. This comparison would apply to both an avid runner or a casual runner or biker. The deciding factor, however, is whether you do everything inside, like if predominantly you're on a stationary bike or treadmill, or you do a combination of the two, or if you're predominantly an outside rider or runner. And the reason why I'm saying that is the Charge 5 specifically has a built-in GPS. The Amazon Halo View doesn't have any of that feature at all. It doesn't even connect to your phone's GPS. Why is that important? Let's just say you're out on the trail. You can actually just take your Charge 5 with you and leave your phone at home. This way, later on, you can go back to your FitBit software and you can actually look at the distance you've ran. You can look at it from device 2, your pace, your path. I'm not sure why this is, but with the FitBit software, you have the option of being able to select treadmill as a category for exercise. However, with the Amazon Halo View, you don't have that option. You can select elliptical, which is also available on the Charge 5, but you can't select treadmill. So I'm not sure why that is, that you can select elliptical but not treadmill on the Amazon Halo View. If you are an avid biker or runner, and you do both inside and outside, I highly recommend the Charge 5 over the Amazon Halo View just because, and mainly because, of the GPS. Next, let's take a look at these two devices from the point of view of someone who mainly does weight training. If you predominantly weight train, like myself, some of the things that you want to look at are heart rate, calories burned, and the duration of your training. Well, both of these provide that for you. However, there is one thing on the Halo View that is not on the Charge 5. And I know this may seem small, but it makes a big difference, is on the Halo View, you can actually see how long you've been working out, right? This way it kind of allows you to kind of pace yourself during your workout. You can't do that on the Charge 5. You can't see the clock. I'm not sure why that is, but for me personally, that's actually a really nice feature to have. Because I may not have like a gym clock I have here in my gym. Let's just say I'm working out outside. I'm only wearing this. My phone is not close to me. It's out on the side. This way I'm listening to music. It's kind of nice to be able to check your watch and see what time it is and how long you've been working out. They don't have that on the Charge 5, which is kind of unfortunate. In my opinion, in this case, I would recommend the Halo View. But if you don't really care about the clock and so forth, then either will work. Okay, next, let's take a look at these two devices from the point of view of someone who does Pilates and yoga as their predominant exercise. What are some of the things you want to look at when you do those type of exercises? Heart rate, intensity, duration, and calories burned. Very similar to weightlifting, if I must say. Well, in that case, both of these devices are really good for that. However, there's one caveat. The Amazon Halo View has this movement analysis, which is kind of cool, but I don't know how much I can rely on that, where it could analyze your movement. It could determine how well you move. It could determine a little bit of your mobility. Now, can you fully count on that to be accurate? I don't know, I'm kind of skeptical about that. But it does have that feature, which is kind of cool, which is not available with any of the Fitbit devices. In the point of view of someone who mainly does yoga and Pilates, really either works well. I will choose the Amazon Halo View over the Charge 5 if you really want to test out the movement analysis. Finally, we're going to look at these two devices from the point of view of someone who's an athlete, someone who's a health enthusiast, a CrossFitter, someone who incorporates multiple components in their training plan. They can include weight training, cardio, HIIT, interval training, gymnastics, martial arts, and so forth. If you fit in any of the categories I just mentioned, one of the things you probably consider is actually build quality. Why? Well, most likely you're going to be using these devices a lot in a lot of different environments. Whether if you're rock climbing, you're swimming, you're surfing, you're playing baseball, basketball, football, doesn't matter. You're going to put these devices through some serious wear and tear. So build quality is important. In addition to that, you probably want to track your heart rate, the intensity of your workouts. You probably want it to be waterproof in case you go for a swim, or if you're out and it's raining. You probably want to track your distance. So GPS is very important, so you know how far you've gone, even with or without your phone. If you fit into that category, there's no debate between these two devices. It's got to be the Charge 5. Why? Well, first off, the Charge 5 is built with an aluminum chassis. This is all plastic. Without wearing these, you probably couldn't tell, but the Charge 5, the band itself, has a little latch that kind of secures the band onto the device, which of course, you know, if you are out doing whatever, you know, this thing could get caught on something. Well, the Amazon Halo View, this, by my experience, is not really secure. And why? There's been a couple times when I went out rock climbing and I was just putting on my backpack and my backpack got caught right here on the side. If you watch, if I just gently do this, it just kind of pops off. So imagine like you trying to put your strap on. If this gets caught on that strap, it would just pop off. And it did on me 2 times in a row. However, there is one caveat that I need to mention. What I like about the Halo View is it has an oxygen sensor, which you can take a reading at any time you desire. Well, the Charge 5 has that feature too. However, it tracks that throughout the day. So you're not gonna be able to take an initial reading. Well, why does that matter? Well, let's just say you are an alpinist. You're up at high elevation frequently, or every so often. Well, to be able to know where your O2 level right there and then could be important to you. Also, let's just say you came down with COVID, or you have any kind of heart or lung complication. It also may be good to be able to take your O2 reading right there and then, instead of mainly just seeing an average over time. So the Charge 5, reads your O2 throughout the night, and it kind of tells you where it sits. So take that as you will. I don't know how many people will really utilize that immediate reading over something that just takes it over time, but that's something to think about when you're looking at these two devices, if that matters to you. And that sums up the comparison between these two devices from the point of view of the end user. Now, if the end users I talked about today doesn't cover your lifestyle, please enter that into the comment below of the things that you do. Then I can give you some recommendations of which device I think is best for you. So if you'd like to know more, please click on the link above as I do deep dive on each device.